Hello fans of Hazbin Hotel. We've all got the news by now. We all know what's up. This video is going live on August 13th, so there are just 78 days until Hazbin Hotel Season 2. And I know that we're all stoked and ready to go. I've got some Hazbin Hotel Season 1 content I want to churn through before that, so consider the next several videos as my countdown towards the release. We've got this final character analysis of Nifty. I know I said I was going to do Mimsy and Rosie, but when I sat down to write about them, I just didn't have more to say about them than I'd already said in other videos. Followed by analyses of 7 of the episodes, seeing as I've already done episode 3 in my Vaggie series. And finally, a countdown of the best songs in season 1 as measured by how much storytelling each song does. So, without further ado, let's talk about Nifty. Nifty is a tricky character to talk about because there's really not that much going on. How do you analyze that? Well, you do it the same way you analyze anyone else. You start with what's there and you make sense of it as best you can. This video argues that Nifty represents the fan base based on her love of bad boys, her kinkiness, her excitability, and the fact that she's very sheltered. I see this less as a lampooning of her fan base than as some lighthearted ribbing of the kinds of people who like shows like these. First, let's take a look at Nifty's physical design. Nifty is often seen holding a very large knife. It's her go-to cleaning supply, which she uses to kill bugs. You can generously spin this as
24-hour pest control.
But in her own words, she's just
fighting bugs.
Now, when I think about the act of stabbing, cutting, tearing, I'm actually reminded of how fandoms often approach the media they enjoy. I've mentioned before how weirdly antagonistic this fandom is towards Vivian Medrano and towards the show itself. They're so down on the show that you'd think, if you didn't know better, that they actually hated it. I'm reminded, based on the kinds of things they say in those videos, of the mindless, frenetic stabbing Nifty does when she fights her bugs. But that's not all. Nifty can be seen to represent the duality of the critic as able to point out flaws in something without ever putting themselves in a position vulnerable enough to create. Once Nifty's in front of the camera, she goes still, so paralyzed with fear that she can't even say scripted lines.
Cut.
How was that?
Well, Nifty, you actually have to say the line, so let's roll again.
This isn't all critics, of course. For example, I've been dissecting this show for over a year, and I do it with my face on camera. But it's a certain type of critic that I'm sure she's hyper aware of throughout the creative process. Then, there's Nifty's relationship to the bad boys, which mirrors the attitudes of the fan base. For the most dynamic example, Nifty starts off being all over Serpentius when she thinks he's a bad boy.
The bad boy is back! Never leave me again.
And especially Lucifer.
The ultimate bad boy! I bet he's scary.
But when Serpentius' facade slips a little and he's shown to be more than just a tough customer, she's visibly distraught.
Why are you so lame? Not a bad boy.
I'm reminded a bit of fans' relationships with the bad boys in a show. Simultaneously, they're drawn to them, like Alistair in this show, or probably most famously the Onceler or the Greedler, if you will, but also like to turn them into uwu boys through their fanfics, having them get in touch with their feelings and becoming committed partners. If this happened to the characters in the show itself, though, the magic would be gone and the audience wouldn't be as interested in these bad boys anymore because they wouldn't be bad boys anymore. They'd react just like Nifty.
I hated that song!
Then there is the pervasive kinkiness to Nifty that screams fangirl. Watch her watching Angel Dust's porn. Look at her all dressed up for the sex club.
I'm ready to punish some bad boys.
It reminds me of how fangirls talk about their own prurient interests. Like the time I saw someone online bragging about being able to read porn with a straight face so she could read it in class. Listen, I don't judge. It takes all types, and this type has a very specific skill that she's proud to have honed. Nifty doesn't even bother to hide her delight. And it's not just the porn and the kinkiness. If you've been in the fandom for a while, you know that there's basically 2 genres, smut and angst. Angsty stories involve all kinds of pain.
Yay, pain!
And the fan uses them to feel big emotions in safe, controlled environments. Nifty approaches the characters and events of this show with the same sensibility. She sees negative experiences as being just as valuable as positive ones, even exciting when they're thrilling or novel.
Pain.
Finally, she's very sheltered. She can't hold her liquor and doesn't go out much, yet she embraces her friends,
Wait up, guys!
Did you just call these cunts your friends?
her hobbies,
For my collection.
and new experiences, even when they're a bit overwhelming to her.
Everything's spinning.
I think you're done, Tiny.
Oh, come on, bitch!
This reminds me again of the fangirl who, even for an adult show like this, skew young and a little sheltered. I could totally see a fangirl dropped into the world of Hazbin Hotel acting very similarly to Nifty. She'd be overwhelmed at all the new things around her and would need the people around her to watch out for her because she isn't used to doing such adult things by herself or at all.
I just don't want her to end up in the gutter like I used to.
By imbuing Nifty with the traits typical of a young fan of pop culture, Vivian Medrano creates a playful fan insert character that captures the spirit of the fandom by being simultaneously passionate and a little deranged. She feels all of her feelings so big she can't hold them in, doesn't always know how to express herself, and loves what she loves with all her heart. This interpretation of Nifty feels right to me, and I like that it brings a certain amount of playful recognition of Medrano's and Hazbin Hotel's fan base. Still, Nifty's character has little enough substance that you could connect the information in an entirely different way and have a completely different take on her. Let me know in the comments what you think her deal is. Subscribe and click the notification so that you'll be alerted to my next Hazbin Hotel video, which will start my plot arc analysis series with episode 1.